During the construction of the B&O Railroad's Boardtree Tunnel near Littleton in northern West Virginia, there were a great many deaths due to accidents. A lot of men were killed by trains hauling construction equipment and supplies. Also, a cholera plague took the lives of many laborers and their families. A cemetery was made on top of the tunnel, and all the victims were buried there. Billy Hogan was a section boss of one of the crews that worked on the tunnel. He was Irish and witty and a great character, according to report, always playing pranks on the men and his crew. But Billy was killed the day the tunnel was finished when he was run over by the first train to go through it, and his body was buried in the cemetery on top over the hill, overlooking the tunnel's entrance. After Billy's death, one of his good friends, an old Irishman named Packy Hendrick, got the job of track walker and also of doing routine maintenance on the tunnel during the day. It was not long until Packy began telling tales of Billy being with him all day while he worked. He entertained all the country around with his tales. He said he could always tell when Billy was in a bad mood. The fire in his lantern would blow out. He would come into work in the morning, and his tools would be scattered about, even though he specifically remembered putting them away the night before. Bricks would fall from the tunnel roof, even though he had just checked the mortar around them a day or two before. Spikes would not go into the ties straight, even though he lined them up perfectly in the plate holes. Some days, nothing would go quite right. On other days, when Billy was in good humor, everything would go perfectly. On days like this, he said that when he was walking the track, Billy would whisper to him and show him where there were faulty places in the ties or rails or in the roof lining. Packy would share his lunch with Billy every day. Other men going into the tunnel to work would find these bits of food that Packy had left for his friend. Some of the trainmen hated to go through the tunnel at night. They claimed they would see a light at the opening that vanished when they approached. Whether this was Billy, no one ever knew for sure. Packy lived a full life and never stopped seeing Billy for the rest of his days. After Packy died, few people told the stories about Billy Hogan anymore. As for the tunnel itself, the track was relocated several years later, and the tunnel was abandoned. Many would walk the old tunnel at night, claiming to see Billy's light. But today, the tunnel is sealed, so the light shines no more.